Welcome back, podcast fans. I'm your host, Annette Hines, and this is Parenting Impossible, the Special Needs Survival Podcast. Thank you so much for coming back to our podcast. And if you are new here, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you. You picked a really good one to start listening to. This is my annual get ready for the end of the year, end your year strong, pump you up podcast. So I'm going to give you several tips and things to work on. And if you can see me on video, if you're watching this as a vlog or something, you can see that I have my cute little elf hat on with elf ears and everything. And I am all decked out for the holidays. I celebrate Christmas. Whatever winter holidays you celebrate, I hope that they are going to be merry. Always gets me in a good mood. Very excited. I have several holiday events to go to today, and it's just really lifting my mood. So let's talk about ending your year strong and end of year planning. I'm going to start by talking about three things that you should be doing or thinking about on your personal list. And then I'm going to talk about three things that you should be thinking about or doing on your financial list. So, in order to end the year strong, I want you to start by reflecting back. So, that's number one. Reflect back on the year, and you're going to do this with a positive mindset and a positive framework. I'm going to be saying that the whole podcast. You want to celebrate your wins. Look, it's really important. Every coaching program I've ever been in starts with celebrating the wins and figuring out what's gone right this year. It is so easy to think about and dwell on all the things that have gone wrong, all the things you didn't get done, all the things you didn't get to check off your list. Believe me, I am super guilty of that. And in earlier years, when I was raising my kids and they were young and life was really hard, it was harder to look at the wins and to think positively. But this is knowledge and power that I have fought hard to accomplish and win. So I'm going to pass this on to you and hopefully save you all of this time and energy. So some people are going to do this by taking a look at their goals, if you have written goals, and you're going to figure out what have you gotten done this year. For me, I'm just going to tell it like it is. I lost just about 40 pounds this year, starting in early February, because January was not a good month for me to kick it off. And I had to do it. I've been facing some health challenges, and I'm not sure how many of you know that. I haven't talked about it too much, but it's been a tough couple of years for me. And I just decided that I like my life too much. I do not want to impact, my quality of life by having all of these health issues get in the way. So I set out to find some specialist doctors, which I did, check that off my list. I knew that I needed to lose weight and bring down some of my blood levels. You can imagine what they are. And it wasn't going to change some of my diagnoses, but it was going to improve my quality of life and have a big impact. So that has been super exciting. I am incredibly proud of myself. It's hard to lose weight. I had to go on some medication that helped me, but the medication was not just for weight loss, but was for a lot of the other health issues that I was having. So if you are somebody who has a checklist of goals, certainly look at that. Sometimes you can just go back on Facebook or scroll through your Instagram feed and take a look at all of the happy pictures that you've posted or, talked about, and celebrate those. I mean, I love how Facebook will send you these memories from time to time. I mean, sometimes they're sad memories, unfortunately for me, but a lot of times they're happy memories. Just the other day, I was scrolling through and I saw the picture of bringing Caroline to school on that first day. Oh my God, she was giggling and smiling and happy and laughing, and it was incredible. And although it wasn't a win this year, the win for me is that Caroline just finished school finally and is getting her degree. That was a hard won accomplishment for her. Side note, and me too. Um, so yeah, look at your goals, look at your Facebook, look at your Instagram, cross some things off your list. You know that feels so good, right? And anything else that you need to do that helps you reflect back. Okay. Then included in that, the next thing that I want you to do is to dust off that letter of intent. If you don't know what a letter of intent is yet, you haven't been listening to me long enough. I have a podcast coming up right after this one, just on letters of intent. So make sure you listen into that. But if you have a letter of intent, now's the time to update it. Take a look at everything that has changed this year and all the new information that you need to share and things that maybe are not so relevant anymore. Okay, third thing. So that was first thing and second thing on your personal list, right? Third thing, review your circle of care. What do I mean by your circle of care? That's your team, people. Those are the ride or dies, the people that have specific roles in your life, your kids' lives, your family members' life. And do you have any new faces and new places in your team? What I mean by new places is new organizations, new groups that you are part of that are, taking a specific role. Is there a new therapist? Is there a new plan? Who's overseeing your care? For me, I'm just going to go back to this fact that I have a bunch of new doctors that I see and a dietitian who has been so helpful. And so I have almost a whole new medical team, clinical team for me. It's been amazing. It's been hard trying to find them all. And now they're all kind of talking to each other, which is so critical for your care. So who stepped out of the circle? Who haven't you been in touch with? Who hasn't been responsive? Who should you maybe, kind of push out of your circle or have conversations with? This is absolutely critical for you, is to take a look at the team and the people that surround you and the roles that they play and see what's missing. And this is going to help you in the next podcast that I'm going to do about setting goals for 2025. All right. Those are your three personal things that you need to work on or take a look at for ending your year strong. Okay. Now the financial list, a little more detailed and a little bit more black and white. First and foremost, I am going to talk to you about retirement plan assets. Okay. We've had lots of conversations on this podcast about taxes and retirement plans. A lot has changed since the end of 2019 when the Secure Act went into place and the interaction between retirement plans and disability planning. Do you have to take a required minimum distribution for yourself, or are you a fiduciary on a trust and the trust has an inherited IRA or inherited retirement assets and you need to worry about a required minimum distribution, or RMD for short? This is the time that you need to take a look at what you are doing in your own tax portfolio. Are there some losses that you can harvest? Are you doing some tax planning? Have you met with your accountant? Are you a trustee in charge of a trust? This is a great time to be looking at both the retirement plans and required minimum distributions, but also tax planning for the end of the year. Are there losses that you can harvest? Where are you at with that? Another thing that I want you to do, this is number 2, is to review and update your asset list. So I have really been strongly talking about for the last 2 years, making sure that your assets are aligned with your estate plan or your financial plan. This is something that has just popped up and bit me in the butt this year with two really tough cases, both where there's a disabled beneficiary, adult child. Neither plan, one which I did draft and one which I didn't draft, neither plan was funded. What do I mean by funded? And we've talked about this quite a bit, but I'm going to tell you again. Funding your plan includes making sure that the ownership of your assets and the beneficiary designations of your assets are aligned with where you want your assets to go while you're alive and when you die. How are they going to be managed? For most people, avoiding probate is super important. And that's what's come up in these two cases that I want to, tell you about. When your assets go through probate, it takes a very long time, including it can be, 5-6 months just to get an executor or a personal representative, depending on your state, appointed who can have control over the assets, who can make mortgage payments and car payments and pay off debts and make sure that disabled beneficiaries have everything that they need and that their bills are being paid and their support is being paid for. So when you don't align assets, make sure that your assets are in your trust and controlled by your trust before you die. What happens are these very long delays and very costly probate court matters. And in the two cases that I've seen this year, it is taking 4 to 6 months just to get a personal representative appointed. And that's not outrageous. That's not unusual. And because they didn't do proper planning, in both cases, successor guardians are not appointed and not available. And so we have no guardian, no representative of that disabled beneficiary. And we are, in court on a probate matter that requires representation of the disabled beneficiary. So that's extra steps and extra costs that no one should have to do if they do a proper plan. Having beautiful documents is not enough, people. You have to align those assets with your plan. And it's not just your estate plan, it's also your financial plan. Some people don't realize that your contract assets, such as your life insurance, your retirement plan, are not governed by your will. They have a beneficiary designation, and you need to know what that is. So it's the end of the year. I want you all to take a look at your financial assets. Make sure you have statements for everything. You have a list. It's in a proper place. It is sent to your estate planning attorney, your financial advisor, the people that are going to be in charge for you when you can't do your financial decision making anymore. And make sure that you are looking at if everything is in the proper place. What are my beneficiary designations? Do I have an asset that's owned jointly that really shouldn't be owned jointly? That sort of thing. And then start thinking about your plan, which I'm going to ask you to do at the beginning of January. What is your financial plan for this year, for the next 3 years, for the next 5 years? Okay. That's the second thing. Now, third thing and last thing on your ending your year strong, things on your financial list to do or to review. Please pull out your estate planning documents, dust off that binder. Hopefully it's pretty and organized for you. If not, just grab your documents, refresh your memory. What's in these documents? Oh crap, I didn't realize that I still had that person in as the trustee. That's not appropriate. They have, started to have a drinking problem, or they moved to Alaska or Portugal. They've had a falling out with my beneficiary. That's not going to work. Or I've taken all these great courses with Annette Hines. I now know what a trustee needs to do. And maybe that person is not the most appropriate person anymore. just make sure that you refresh and start writing down notes and questions for your attorney, for your financial advisor. Hey, I didn't know that my trust said that. What does that mean? I've heard something about some tax law changes. Thank you, Annette. What does that mean for my portfolio, for my documents? And start making a list of not just your questions, but updates that need to happen, because we're gonna put on your list of, starting 2025 off strong. We're gonna put update your plan on your list. All right. Those are the 3 personal things and the 3 financial things that I want you to consider and take action on before the end of the year. Can you do it? Let me know. Is there anything I forgot to talk about? Anything else on your list that you would like to share with other people? Okay. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Don't forget to tune in next week to learn all about letters of intent. Thank you so much. Bye now.